In today's video, we're going to talk about why nail techs fail, the biggest reasons. So this is a good one if you're starting out or having troubles or difficulties. We're going to get into this topic right now on the Biz Talk. Tracey, why does Greg fail?
Oh, because he's breathing.
So the message here is don't be Greg.
Don't be Greg.
And breathe. That combination is deadly to your career because you'll fail. I'm just kidding. Greg is not a failure.
He's totally serious.
If you don't know who Greg is, he's the number 2 brother out of the two of us, and he's an okay nail tech. He does right?
Technically, you are the number 2. You came.
This is true.
You came second.
I did come second. 2's bigger than 1. You know that one? The rubber sticks on me, bounces off you.
What did you say? It was a mirror the other day?
Oh, yeah, I'm a mirror and it reflects off me or something. All right, let's jump into this topic. I think this is going to be a good one for a lot of people. Okay, the reason nail technicians fail. So they're an enthusiast. They decide I want to be a pro. They start on the journey. We saw today on our live stream, we saw many comments of people saying, I'm depressed. Mm-hmm. I had one client. I lost this one client. I can't seem to get this going. This is extremely hard. What is going on, Trace? Like why do nail techs fail, do you think?
Lack of patience and overwhelming fear.
Yes, I like that a lot. I think the lack of patience is so underrated.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks that this is something that's going to happen like in weeks or a couple months, maybe. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't. I don't care what part of the beauty industry you are in. It does not happen that way. And I think that's one thing that's just not educated enough is how much it just sucks at first.
Right.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of spinning of your wheels and not going anywhere until it's slowly, you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to build momentum. And then you get knocked down a couple pegs again.
That's right, again.
Get back up. But that not having patience, realizing that it's going to take that time, how much work you have to put into it, right?
Yeah.
It's not like someone's just it's a business.
It's a business.
You are starting your own business.
Yes.
You're not walking into someone just dropping clienteles. I mean, that would be amazing. Doesn't typically happen. And then fear. It's the fear of someone not liking their work.
Right.
The fear of, well, I've been doing pedicures, but I'm scared to do artificial, so I just stay doing pedicures, which nothing wrong with pedicures, but you never get out of that fear. And if you don't push through, if I don't try to push past, 6 months later, I still have the same fears.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same spot.
Yeah. I think it's so important to like openly have that conversation of like the reality is you're going to fail a lot, but that it's okay. Yeah. Like it's really okay because 99.9% of people, that is the experience and that is what you go through is constant like failure. And I'm not being negative,
no.
Right? This is not a negativity thing of like, you're just going to fail. No, it's just to normalize it. I want to normalize that process where it's really, really hard because a lot of people, especially with social media now, right? Like we did this episode like 6 years ago, I think. And I think it's a different story now because today social media is just way more of a thing than it was like 6 years ago, right? Like, yeah. And there's TikTok now, there's YouTube Shorts now, there's all these ways, and you just see so much more. If you're a nail pro and you're starting to build your business, and you're just looking at like you follow all these amazing nail artists, and you're just like, dude, that can be depressing.
It can be depressing,
right?
And unfortunately, I don't think enough techs talk about it, or maybe they don't even think to talk about it, But and actually, I've seen some just lie. I'm
Lie,
sorry,
right.
you just lie, because you're like, I came out of school knowing how to do nails in an hour, and I built a clientele in a month, and maybe that's like lightning,
Right.
hitting
Right.
twice or whatever. Maybe it can happen, but that's just not the norm. So we got to talk about it more. Like, it took me a long time to build a clientele. I remember making my first $17 on a manicure. I remember the first time the owner of the salon had to come to me and tell me someone wasn't happy. I remember these things. And I think we're kind of grouping failure in also with not building your clientele. It can feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Even when you didn't, not make a client happy, the phone didn't ring that day. And that kind of feels like you're failing at your business, and you put all this work into it. But that's just part of the process.
Yeah. It really is part of the process. And so the patience thing that you mentioned, it's like, if you don't have that mindset of like, okay, like, I need to just stick this through. I've got to be patient. I have more to learn. If you're impatient and you're just like, I should have this by now, why don't I have clients? That is probably a top contributor to like why. And I think that's true, not just in the nail business, but in all businesses.
Right.
Right. We were just having a conversation with somebody. We're going to start, we're going to do, we have a new vendor that we're going to be working with our company, and they came by, we met them, and, he was like, oh, hey, congratulations on building, a great business. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and started laughing. I'm like, no, it's not easy. And he was the owner of his business. And I said, well, right? Yeah. Like, how insane and psychotic and crazy is it to build a business? It is so hard. It's so hard. And we've got nail technicians that are, here's the biggest thing for me, Tracey, is I think that there's too many people. Like, first of all, you're not patient. And so you're expecting things to happen so quickly. The second thing is, if you are patient, but you're not willing to like look at some of the truths that are coming up, like look at those failures and be objective about them and say, okay, I see what I did there. Let me improve that. If you're just like, no, my work is good.
You got to be able to look in the mirror.
You have to look in the mirror.
100%.
You've got to be real with yourself. And that comes with being accepting and okay with like, the nail's not coming out right, or maybe a customer's upset. I'm not saying the customer's always right, but in the beginning phases, there's probably things that you could look at and go, okay, I see what happened here. There's a complaint there. Let me try to step it up and improve in these areas. But being open to it, it's still not easy to take. I'm not saying you should accept failure and accept it with a smile. I mean, I hate it. Yeah. Who loves failing?
Nobody.
Yes. But just knowing that, like,
learning experience,
like actually learning from it, not brushing it under the rug and just saying, I'm going to put my head down and do this 100 more times the same way. Making the same mistake is going to drive you crazy.
Yeah. I've seen this with new ones coming out of school, insisting that their nails are amazing, terrific, it's perfect the way it is. And you're trying to educate them and try to teach them, and they don't want to hear it. And then a couple months later, they come around like, I don't know what's going on. It's like, well, you're stubborn. You're not listening.
Yes.
Takes time anyway, but also, have you learned that people don't like XYZ yet,
Right.
But I also see this, and this is where people can fail that have already built a business.
Interesting.
Same thing. Not willing to look into the mirror. Have you not kept up to date?
Right.
I have a full client. I always imagine it this way, like an amazing restaurant, the height, the peak of 2022, the most popular restaurant that ever has existed. 10 years later, nobody's coming in. Why is nobody coming in? You never reinvented yourself.
Right.
You never stayed. Nobody likes that food anymore.
Right.
They want this. You insist that what you're doing is right because it worked in 2022. You have to stay up to date.
You got to stay up to date. Yeah.
And this also keeps you from burning out.
Right.
Because if you burn out, you're going to fail in your business too. If you don't keep yourself excited in your business, then you burn out and you fail.
And incorporating new designs, new trends. Yes, it is work. Yes, it is work. But you're like in the beginning, it's like, I got to relearn this. But then when you get it, you're like, it's invigorating. You're like,
it's exciting.
Oh my God, look at our 2022, for example, this year. I told Tracy towards the beginning of the year, dude, I want to bring in so many new products, and that's exciting. But at the same time, it's overwhelming. It's like, oh my God, I have to do research. And I didn't do that work. Tracy did all that work. She's got to do the research, reach out to the suppliers, test the product, send it out to our techs that also test the products, get the feedback. It's exciting, but it's work.
Yep.
But then when we launch it, it's like, this is so cool. It's exciting for us.
It keeps the company fresh.
Yes.
Now, what you could do is go, we're never doing another product. We have acrylic, we have gel, and we don't need anything else ever.
I've done it.
Ever. You have done it.
Tracy, I've actually done it.
Yeah. And what happens? It's fine for a while. As a nail tech, you can do the same thing. I only do this. And you may have a full clientele, but what happens when that is no longer popular? You slowly see a slide down.
That's exactly
of clientele. Right. A client moves, a client decides to go somewhere else, but you can't fill that spot for some reason anymore.
Yes.
And you just slowly start to lose. I've seen it so many times.
Reinventing, keeping things fresh and reinventing your business is huge. That's such a great, so I did that. Okay. I literally, Greg can tell you this. Maybe you can too.
Mm-hmm.
I know Greg specifically because Greg would always come to me and be like, dude, we need to launch new products. And I'm like, can't do it, bro. It's too expensive. Part of the reason was our business model made it very difficult to launch new products because we were all distribution, and it was like you invest in this new product and then nobody takes it. And you don't have any other outlet. Now we just go direct on e-com, so we can launch as many products as we want. But regardless of that, I still was like, no. And we had the same product lines doing the same thing every single year. And what happened? We got stale and we started to decline.
Yep.
Exactly what you said is what happened to us. So recharging, watching YouTube videos, finding out what's hot, what trends, even new products that we're launching as an example. It's like, well, can I bring in these new products and then incorporate it in a new service? Market it as I've got this new service for my clients. Check it out, guys. This new product that just came in from Young Nails. Is that not a great way to bring in some excitement into your salon with a new added service, something fun?
Let me ask you this. Maybe not for you, but for me, bringing new products into Young Nails is exciting.
It's exciting.
It makes it exciting.
It's exciting for us.
Yes, it's exciting for us.
It's here, when I like to game with my kids. That's known. I just got a new monitor for myself. All of us, my kids and I, we all have the same monitor. They're all new. What are we doing now? We're gaming on certain games that we weren't previously because it just infuses a level of excitement again. My other kid got a new keyboard. It's like, ooh,
yeah,
new products, excitement. It infuses in your salon. So a new service that you could do, added ombre with the cream clays, check this out. Look, it's beautiful, blah, 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 blah.
Keeps you from getting burnout, which is, again, just another way I see people fail in their business because they're just over it.
That's a real situation because if you have the same clientele for, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, and you're doing the exact same things, your clients are happy, they're not going anywhere, you are eventually going to be like, I'm going to die of boredom.
So over it.
Did you not go through that, Tracy, with pink and whites?
I had a full clientele, pink and whites. I needed if I saw another pink and white, I did art at the time. It wasn't, it definitely became a thing, but at the time, glitter and all that wasn't a huge thing where I was. It was still pink and whites. And I'm just like, nope, I got to do something else.
Yeah, exactly. You have to infuse that in your business. And so like so just two things to kind of wrap this up. If you're a beginner and you're frustrated, okay, you got to know that's normal.
You're on the right track.
You're on the right track. It's very hard. It's difficult, but you're going to get there. You've got to be patient. Please be patient. Hang on. Join us on our streams. Honestly, I'm not just saying that to get more people to watch. I'm saying that because our community that we have is very supportive. It's awesome. You can ask questions. It'll give you a boost of energy to hang in there in that process. But patience is definitely the number one thing. And the number two, if you have an existing clientele and you feel like, things are sliding or your business is heading in that direction of failure because of burnout, because you are feeling like, dude, I can't handle this anymore. It's time to start incorporating some new services, some new nail art, some new products, whether it's from us or another company, it doesn't matter. Bringing this in and introducing new services, fun stuff for your clientele, new techniques. If you don't do gel, start. If you don't do acrylic, start. If you don't do nail art, start. Right?
Right. And I have one more thing.
Yes,
Why
please.
nail techs fail. You don't charge enough.
You don't.
I had to put it in there. Sorry.
Charge enough.
That's another way you get burnout if you're not charging enough.
So very related to the second point we're making.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if you're not charging enough, then you're not making it. And you're going to be like, I can't do this job anymore because I'm not making it. I need to find something else.
100%.
Or I'm completely burnt out of doing a job that I never get ahead in.
That's a massive one. Please watch videos that we have on increasing your pricing or charging as a nail tech. We have a lot of Biz Talk videos on that. I'm telling you, watch them. It's going to help you to get those prices up so that you do not burn out. Tracey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Biz Talk.
Subscribe channel now. Subscribe channel now. Sub and subscribe